McDonnell Douglas has not existed since 1997, but over 1,600 of their MD-80s entered airline service. Retired DC-10s now fight wildfires, and the last jet they ever designed flies under a Boeing name. From the DC-8 to the 717, every aircraft in this family was born from the one before it. And that 40-year chain of evolution starts with a single gamble in 1958. In 1959, the DC-8 entered airline service, launching Douglas into the jet age with a design built for distance. 4 underwing engines and a swept-back wing gave it a range of 9,620 kilometers, enough to cross the Atlantic non-stop. Airlines like Pan Am and United put the DC-8 on flagship routes, connecting continents and setting a new standard for speed and comfort. As quieter airports became a necessity, the DC-8 was among the first to get a hush kit retrofit, swapping out its original engines for quieter, more efficient CFM56 turbofans. This upgrade not only satisfied stricter noise rules, it also extended the DC-8's commercial life by decades, especially in cargo service. 6 years after the DC-8's debut, Douglas answered a different question: how to make jets work for short hops and fast turnarounds. The DC-9, with its engines mounted at the rear of the fuselage, freed up the wings for better aerodynamics and easier maintenance. This layout, paired with a T-tail, allowed for quick 30-minute turnarounds and reliable performance from smaller airports. Airlines loved the flexibility. Southwest built its early schedule on the DC-9's ability to land, unload, reload, and take off again in less time than it took to refuel a 707. A retired DC-9 captain once summed it up: "You could fly 3 legs before lunch, and the airplane never missed a beat." These 2 jets, one built for oceans, one for cities, set the template for every McDonnell Douglas jet that followed. Their design choices, from wing sweep to engine placement, shaped the DNA of the MD-80 and beyond, proving that a well-built airframe could adapt to changing rules, new markets, and decades of hard use. The MD-80 family arrived at a moment when airlines needed more seats and lower costs, but could not afford the risk of an all-new design. By stretching the proven DC-9 airframe and fitting it with upgraded JT-8D-200 engines, McDonnell Douglas offered a jet that could carry up to 172 passengers, reach a maximum takeoff weight of 76 tons, and still land at airports with tight runways. Airlines responded in force. By 2025, over 1,600 MD-80s remain in service, a testament to the model's staying power. The economics were hard to beat. The MD-80 did not just fly farther, it flew cheaper. The new engines burned less fuel on each trip, while the airframe's commonality with the DC-9 meant mechanics could swap parts and troubleshoot issues without retraining. One line maintenance engineer said you could roll an MD-80 into the hangar at midnight, swap a flap or an engine with parts from a DC-9, and have it back in the air by dawn. That is how you keep a fleet moving. Upgrades kept the MD-80 relevant as regulations changed. Flat panel cockpit retrofits replaced analog gauges with digital displays, making compliance with new navigation and safety standards possible without a full redesign. These modifications, along with the aircraft's simple systems and robust structure, allowed the MD-80 to outlast rivals that were newer on paper but costlier to operate. The stretch-first approach, taking a solid core and refining it, proved its worth, even as pressure grew for more efficient engines and quieter cabins. The MD-80's long reign set the stage for the next leap in efficiency, but its legacy endures in the mechanic's stories and the daily schedules it still keeps. The MD-90 arrived in the mid-1990s with a clear mission to squeeze more efficiency from a proven design without starting from scratch. Engineers replaced the old JT8D engines with high-bypass I-8E V2500s, cutting fuel burn by about 12% and lowering noise. The cockpit swapped out analog dials for digital displays, easing the learning curve for pilots already familiar with the MD-80. But the airframe's lineage was unmistakable. The same narrow fuselage, the same rear-mounted engines, and the same wing, now with subtle aerodynamic tweaks. Despite these updates, airlines ordered just 85 MD-90s. Delta and Swissair took most of them, but by the late 1990s, the market's appetite had shifted toward all new designs with greater range and flexibility. Meanwhile, McDonnell Douglas pushed for one last evolution, the MD-95. This was more than a stretch. It was a clean-sheet jet aimed squarely at the 100-seat market, with modern Rolls-Royce BR715 engines and a glass cockpit. But before the first delivery, the 1997 merger handed the program to Boeing. Executives at the new company faced a choice. As one program manager recalled, "We had a modern jet ready to go, but the numbers just did not add up against the 737. Still, Boeing pressed ahead, rebranding the MD-95 as the 717 and delivering 156 aircraft before closing the Long Beach line in 2006. The transition from MD-90 to 717 was both an ending and a handoff. Decades of incremental upgrades gave way to a corporate realignment, and with the last 717, the era of independent McDonnell Douglas narrow bodies quietly drew to a close. On March 3, 1974, Turkish Airlines Flight 981, a McDonnell Douglas DC-10, crashed in the Ermenonville forest near Paris. All 346 people on board lost their lives. The cause traced back to a single flaw: the design of the aircraft's outward opening cargo door. Investigators from the French BEA found that the door's latch could appear locked even when it was not fully engaged. Under pressure, the door blew out, leading to explosive decompression and catastrophic damage to the flight controls. One BEA investigator later said it was a failure that should have been impossible. The aftermath was immediate and global. Regulators grounded every DC-10 until a fix could be found. The Federal Aviation Administration issued an airworthiness directive on December 3, 1990, mandating a reinforced dual-latch system and structural upgrades for all DC-10 aircraft. Airlines had to retrofit the entire fleet, adding a secondary locking mechanism that physically prevented the door from opening in flight. The new system became a blueprint for cargo door safety across the industry. This tragedy forced a hard reset on certification standards. From then on, every new McDonnell Douglas design faced stricter validation, especially for critical systems with no backup. The lessons of Flight 981 echoed through the MD-11 program and shaped the rules for future wide-body jets. A single overlooked detail had rewritten the book on how aircraft safety was engineered and enforced. When the DC-10 left passenger service, its story was far from over. Engineers saw untapped strength in its wide-body frame, and by 2009, the first DC-10 very large Airtanker joined the U.S. Forest Service fleet. Outfitted with a 9,400-gallon belly tank, later expanded to more than 11,600 gallons, this converted jet could drop a solid wall of fire retardant in a single pass, covering up to 2 acres at once. The release system, automated and computer-controlled, emptied the tank in just 8 seconds. For wildfire commanders, that meant fewer sorties and faster containment on the biggest blazes. But the new role came with a price. The DC-10's hourly operating cost hovered around $15,000, drawing fire from critics who questioned whether its sheer size justified the expense. Some pointed to the aging airframes and raised concerns about structural fatigue from repeated heavy drops. Others, a U.S. Forest Service program manager, defended the jet's value, saying that you can put down a line in one pass that would take 3 or 4 smaller tankers multiple trips. In a fast-moving fire, that is the difference between holding the line and losing it. The debate over cost and efficiency never faded, but the DC-10's transformation proved a point. With the right upgrades, a retired airliner could find new purpose and extend its working life far beyond its original design. The lessons learned in these conversions would shape future freighter and tanker programs, especially as demand grew for adaptable, high-capacity platforms. The MD-11 entered service in 1990 with high expectations. It was a long-range, wide-body trijet designed to fly farther and burn less fuel than the DC-10 it replaced. Engineers stretched the fuselage, added advanced winglets, and introduced a glass cockpit with digital flight management. On paper, the MD-11 promised a maximum takeoff weight of 285 tons, a Mach 0.84 cruise, and up to 12% better fuel efficiency. But in passenger service, the aircraft struggled to meet its range targets, and airlines began to favor newer twin-engine jets for long-haul routes. The story changed in the cargo world. FedEx and other freight carriers recognized the MD-11's real strength, sheer volume and payload. With a reinforced floor and a giant side cargo door, the freighter version could carry nearly 200,000 pounds across oceans. By 2025, FedEx operated a mix of 74 MD-11s, both active and grounded, making it the backbone of their intercontinental fleet. A FedEx MD-11 captain put it simply: you can load it to the ceiling, fly it halfway around the world, and the airplane won't complain, unless you land it wrong. Handling quirks did haunt the MD-11, most famously after the 2009 FedEx Flight 80 accident in Tokyo. Investigators traced the hard landing to the aircraft's sensitive pitch response and a gap in the landing phase flight control software. Within 18 months, a software patch was rolled out worldwide, sharpening auto-throttle and pitch logic. Since then, the rate of hard landing incidents dropped by nearly 1/3. Despite its rocky start, the MD-11 freighter proved that adaptability could outlast design flaws. Its winglets, glass cockpit, and high payload made it a fixture in global cargo, even as passenger airlines moved on. In the words of another MD-11 captain, it is not the easiest jet to land, but it is the one you want when the load is heavy and the runway is long. Airlines still rely on jets born from McDonnell Douglas designs, proof that true innovation outlives the names on the fuselage. As fleets modernize, the DNA of these aircraft shapes every new takeoff. Legacy isn't just history, it's the blueprint for what flies next. Share your thoughts below.